Hi, my name is Tuomas and I am the executive chairman of Mestamaster. Mestamaster is a Finnish company that is specialized on takt time on construction. And the way that we do it, we have developed our own software, but we are very much also hands-on with our customer, helping them to get the takt working on the construction sites. Mestamaster's history with takt starts from 2014, where our founders worked on large cruise ship cabin renovation, where the takt was only 15 minutes. Later on, they moved to onshore and tried to figure out there how to get the takt implemented on work sites. In 2017, we started the development of our app, and in 2019, the company Mestamaster was founded. Today, we have over 100 projects that are ongoing or finished and that have used takt and our software, and we have about 40 customers in Finland. Alright, enough about our company and the philosophy of takt. Let's move on to the product demonstration. So here is our example project. It's a small apartment building with 16 apartments, and also each of those apartments is one takt area. You could add all those areas from our Excel template, or later on when we have updated our app from the BIM and the IFC file. But here we could add them also manually if needed. In each of the areas we could add a description, the net floor area, net wall area and net volume. And depending on what kind of projects you have, you might have simple like physical faces, like here are the apartments, or they could be like an imaginary takt areas, for example in projects like office project where you don't have that clear repetitive parts. Moving on to next page, the teams view. Here we have a list of different teams that are operating in this imaginary projects. Gypsum wall guys, paint, so on. So each of the teams could have, they could be named like what is the company name, but here we have used just a descriptive name on what is their purpose on this project. And here we could add how many members they have, how many areas they are working. In this case the areas are the apartments, how many tasks in total they have, how many working hours. This working hours is especially important and very illustrative when you want to estimate how many workers are needed per takt or per week on the work site. Alright, let's move on to the takt trains and the editing of their wagons. So here in this example we have a train, or actually 3 trains, because we have divided the work task into 3 different parts, and within each train we have wagons that contain tasks. Here we have starting from gypsum walls all the way to the painting, so 5 different wagons, or 6 if we include here the buffer. And all the tasks within the wagons can be moved or between the wagons like this. I'll move this back because later on we will take a closer look on what does it mean when a single wagon is edited and how does that show on the scale. Moving back here, checking out the second part of the train, kitchen, finishing. We could add here a new wagon. Let's name it like a test wagon, simply. Currently it is empty, but if we would like to, we would also add new tasks there. Test task. Now we have added. We could also edit it here or delete it here, assign it to a team. Let's put it to supervisors here. So this is the simple way of editing different tasks and takt wagons in Mestamaster. Moving back to the main view, now we have the takt train templates created. How does that show on the actual takt scale? Let's take a look at that next. Here we have the view of the whole takt scale. And here on the rows on the left you can see the different takt areas. In this example, it's the apartment ranging from apartment number 1 to apartment 16. And on top, on the columns, you have the takts and the dates for it. In this example, we are using a two-day takt here. So this view is mainly for the site management to get a clear view on what is happening on the project. Here you can also open individual tasks and mark them started, completed, or even interruptions if needed. But typically this is done by the work groups themselves. And this view allows you to edit different wagons or different takt trains into Schedule. So let's take an example here. Here we have an apartment number 2, and this has been pushed here. So maybe we could move it back for it to progress on the same pace as with the other trains in this schedule. So in this example, we have the takt train. From the previous view, it comprises of 5 different wagons, starting from gypsum walls all the way to the paint top. And here we have a different train that can be also moved individually. It's not dependent on the previous wagon or the wagons over here. So this is the way you can edit takt trains, takt wagons within a single space. Another thing you can do, you can also remove the takt wagons from here, or actually the whole takt trains. So for example, here in apartment 7, we could remove this altogether, but let's not do it in this case. And finally, what we can do here also, we can add new trains. So let's take a closer look on what is happening here. So in apartment 16 we have already this train and this one, but the third one is missing. So let's add it. Choose from here train number 3, and then it just drop over here. So now it's applied into this schedule. So this is how you can edit individual takt trains on individual spaces. But what about the case where you have something that you could or you should make an altercation to all the takt areas? So let's go back here where we have all the train templates. Let's open this first one. So for example, we want to edit this one here. Let's move this task to train number 3, and now we have a train number 2 that is empty. You can also mark it as a buffer right here. And going back to the takt schedule view, now what we see that all the areas that are using the same template, now the second wagon is empty. So this is very convenient when you have to make changes to the whole schedule. So instead of editing each of the areas individually, you can just edit the template and it's applied to everywhere in this project. And something also I want to say about this view here. This is based on WebGL, and what WebGL means is that it uses the GPU on your computer. So whether it's a simple project like here, or whether it's a really complex project like $1 billion hospital where you have the hundreds of wagons, let's say hundreds of thousands of wagons here. So all that can be work really well on a regular laptop. The performance does not degrade. One of the core philosophies when designing Mestamaster has been the idea that it has to be very simple to be usable on the construction site. As we know that the work on a construction site, it can be dirty, there's a lot of noise, the lighting is not very good, and also the users might have some sort of, let's say, hesitations towards all the new digital stuff. So It really has to be very, very simple for the actual workers to use. Another thing that we have found that is very crucial is that the workers get involved in following their own tasks. So what I have done here, I have opened our app version, how it shows on the iPhone, for example. And this shows the work list of one work group. In this case, it's a painters. And I'm sort of the senior guy. I am given the responsibility to follow the tasks here. So here I could check that on apartment 12 we have interrupted one tasks. Let's see, it was interrupted because the previous one hasn't been done, but now it has been resolved. I can click here, I can start it and mark it complete. Now it's done. Let's see here, I have few work tasks that are late. Gypsum walls, the framing. Once again, it has been started, and as you can see here on the schedule, it also updates immediately when I update it on my app. It now completed. This one also started, completed. Here are some tasks that are currently ongoing. This has been completed. This has been started. So this is the core thing that the work groups have to do. They need to follow their tasks, and this is used also in the morning huddles, so that before they come to the morning huddles, they will update their task on what they have been doing and what has been accomplished during that task. And on the morning huddles, they can also share their views on how the schedule could be improved or how everything could be made so that they could do their work. And when running the morning huddles, we use something called huddle view or per takt view that shows like this. Here, let's scroll to the current takt. We are seeing the past tasks here, but what we see here is the current takt 17, starting on Friday and ending on Sunday. And on the columns, we have different work groups. For example, here's the paint group that I'm also part of. So this is the tasks that my work group has to do during this task. There's already 2 completed. There are two already started, so we are doing quite well. And here, when scrolling up, we see all the finished tasks, but we would also see if there are some tasks that are late or interrupted. And this is the view that we are using during the morning huddle, so that each of the work group, painters, furniture, plumbing, electricians, so on, each of them are asked on how their work is going on. For example, here with the paint guys, everything is going really well, so there isn't really that much time to have a chit chat. Just you're doing good. That's fine. But if there are some problems, then this the morning huddle view, and morning huddle is the place where you can raise your voice and tell all the concerns you have regarding your work, or maybe even all other work groups work. So, and I want to stress this out, that the morning huddle is really crucial, really crucial. So if those are not done on the site, then the success of the takt goes dramatically down. And one final thing I want to say about our app is that I previously mentioned that it has been made as simple as possible. So updating all the tasks before you come to the morning huddle, it shouldn't take more than 2 minutes per week. Or let's put it another way. So if it takes more than 2 minutes per week, then something is horribly wrong. On a final note, the cool thing about all the stuff that is done on our app, it is data. All the clicks, all the interrupts, and all the beginning of the task, end of the task, getting it done. It's all about data. We gather a lot of data that can be used for the continuous improvement of the processes in a project, but also on the whole company level. Here you can see what it shows on our dashboards, but we have an open API, which means that you can also import the data into your own system, whether it be a Python model or a Power BI system. All the data is there accessible for you to use free of charge. And on a final note, we have been talking about the app and presenting it and about the data, but really the key thing about takt and lean to success is getting people on board, getting people to understand how the system works, and that they can give their feedback and they can make the skill better and they can make the process better. So that's really the core of takt, not apps. So thank you very much for listening to me. My name is Tuomas Talonen. I'm from Mestamaster. Thank you again.